Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where I was just taking a look around here as I usually do when starting up a new recording session, and I've discovered a few interesting things. First off, the Prussian Empire, the title, like the name of the empire, is in a dramatically different place, and that is because it would appear we've taken a large amount of Finland to the point where we can usurp it. Now, the current Queen of Finland is at war, and that war actually, it's a Liberty War. It allegedly just started. 7 April, it's 30 September here, but they're at 0%. She has 48 troops. Okay. She would not currently accept vassalage. Fair enough. We're going to take her title from her and give it to somebody up there. We'll have to wait until she is no longer at war, of course. She's going to lose that, in fact. That is definitely something she is going to lose. But yeah, we've made pretty dramatic gains up here. Our vassals have been busy. I like it. Yeah, we'll attend that feast. Now, of course, our domain is a little bit oversized right now, but court officials will be finishing up in 3 years and will solve that for us nicely. So that is great. Oh, nice food. Good. We also are investing our money into our cash duchy. Or, yeah, this is in fact our cash duchy. That's a lot of stress. 64 stress for this. Or we could just gain 8 stress and spend 75 prestige. That is, I think, by far the better option. We can work on upgrading these logging camps, and that is something I definitely want to do. We could, in theory, work on construction here. That said, we are currently lacking in some cash to make that happen. And it will cost us 500 gold to usurp the Kingdom of Finland. That is something that we need to consider as well. However, let's get this forestry upgrade going. Yeah, we'll attend your feast. We attend everyone's feast. How's that war? She's at plus 50%. From occupation. She has 7 soldiers. Ah. She has allies. That'll do it. Okay. So this is going to end soon enough, which means that, oh, additional taxes, 231 gold. We should probably consider just saving up money at this point to usurp the Kingdom of Finland as soon as that war is up. It'll be up relatively soon. Like, they just need to finish this siege and it'll be over. So I think that's probably what we're going to want to do. We're going to want to set up a Kingdom of Finland up there, and once we have that, this will either get de jure conquered eventually, or we may be able to offer vassalage once we have the kingdom. We might have to wait a little while to make that actually happen. This guy up here, I would like to fight against. He is, of course, Vitalist, which makes it more difficult. But we also are focusing very heavily on our economy right now. This is definitely something that we need to work on. Of course, once we get our tax assessors here, that will actually be a substantial increase. A very substantial increase. I would love to invest in this. We're obese. We won't be for long. We're no longer obese. Okay. We're just always right on that borderline between obese and not obese, it seems. I like it. Is this war over yet? Well, it looks like it should be. But it's not. Oh, they dropped their siege. Okay. That's kind of exciting. I'm not sure why they did that. But sure. We would lose control but gain gold. Pass. What is our current control level in Zambia? 25. Okay, yep. We will definitely take the free control. Thank you very much. And to that end, we should definitely have... You're currently in Pomerania working on control. Yeah, that's at 82. 74, 79. We need to work on our control levels. There's no doubt about that. Well, we should be able to get there. I don't really have any real concerns there. Okay, this war is now over, which means we can usurp this straight away. And so we shall. She's going to be pretty salty at us, but yeah, if we look here, she's pretty angry. Fair enough. She would not become our vassal, but that's almost 38 reasons. You know what? I'm not going to handle this. Let's just give this out. The de jure capital is here. But this guy is the king of the monk kingdom. Kingdom of Sweden. Okay. I don't want Sweden to hold this. This is just a count level. Do we have a duke level title? He's under Norway. Let's grant him the Kingdom of Finland. Okay. So he's now the King of Finland. He has a holding over here, but we'll see what he decides to do with that. Maybe he decides to get his de jure territory. Maybe he doesn't. Not ultimately our problem. And yeah, she now will not accept this because she's not de jure our vassal. That's okay. This guy can handle it. Maybe he'll invade her. Who knows? In the meantime, we should probably work on doing a little bit more investment. 157 gold for this. Okay. I would really, really like to have that domain limit come in. 15 months? 12 months. Okay. Please do. Renaissance thought is up to 92% without any focus on it. That is insane. It keeps coming up. It was 85 when I first noticed this. Keep in mind, standing armies is what's being exposed to an innovation. And court officials is what we're focusing on. Like, all of these are good. Literally all of them. With the possible... actually, the possible exception of rightful ownership. There's an unwanted pregnancy. Okay. We can now get a stewardship lifestyle perk, which of course is administrator, which will give us +3 stewardship, which might actually give us a domain that we need. Yeah. 8 of 8. Fantastic. That means that when we get court officials, which I'm actually going to switch to cranes right now, but that means that when we get court officials, then we are going to be absolutely fine. Possibly even taking back, say, this barony from this count, or something like that. Actually, probably not this one. I would be probably more interested in taking back this one is in forest. This one here would be the one I'd be most interested in taking. Regardless, we are now making additional cash, which is always nice. Let's go ahead and invest that in getting more cash. Let's see. We could construct ourselves a hunting grounds here. And so we shall. Yeah, that's a guild hall. That'll be fine. Okay, we are constructing in most of these locations, not, however, this one. Let's go ahead and construct a hunting ground. Excellent. We're not constructing in this location. It'll take some time to get that gold, though. Yeah, we're kind of struggling to build in all of these locations at once right now. But hopefully, now that we are gaining over 50 gold per month, hopefully that'll change. So, this is our player heir, who actually became Midas touched. That is fantastic for us. We want to get her a matrilineal alliance power gain, ideally. Prince of East Francia would not necessarily be the worst thing. He's a very powerful vassal. However, I suspect they're related. Yeah, they are related. So I would prefer not to have that be our player heir. How strong are you? Not vary. Okay. This is, of course, sorting by relevance. Let's sort by... Nope. Let's sort by alliance power again. And East Francia. Duchy of Lower Lorraine. Is this within our... Yeah, this is a vassal within our realm. I would really prefer it to not be within our realm, and I really wish that there was a filter for that. Because you can't call in allies within your realm into your wars. So I really wish that there was a way to do that. However, these guys are not super weak. They're not super strong. 6k. I mean, it's sorted by alliance power, right? So this duchy is in our realm. That's all the duchies in our realm. I suspect that every single one of these up here is going to be in our realm. Technically, this guy's not. He's about 12k strength. Kingdom of Croatia, Duchy of Lower Lorraine. Yeah. This is actually going to be our best bet. Okay. Sounds good. It's not necessarily the best, but there we go. Our daughter and heir is now betrothed. And she's Midas touched, so that's going to be very good for us. Very, very good for us, to the point where I'm kind of okay with this guy dying whenever. We can't take our own life or anything right now, but it's an interesting option, one that we may end up taking a little bit later on if we get the stress levels required. We'll go ahead and upgrade this hunting ground, and we'll just keep seeing our income levels go up and up and up. Court officials will be finished in 5 years. We don't actually care about that now that we got the administrator perk, though. So that can finish up basically whenever. This guy became our spy master and can't be fired. How rude. Renaissance thought is at 92%, so that will actually finish up quite quickly as well, and I did not mean to close that. Standing armies in 6 years, cranes in 10. Fantastic. Technologically, I think this is going quite well. Now, standing armies is, of course, going to increase our costs dramatically when we get that. So we definitely want to make sure that we are making a lot of money out of our cash duchy. Let's go ahead and put in... Sure, we'll attend that. Let's go ahead and put in pastoral lands here. Excellent. And in this temple, we also want to put in pastoral lands, but that'll take a couple of months. Proposing an alliance, I accept. Hopefully they'll call us into a war to not participate in, so that we can gain that sweet, sweet 10% additional income. That would be wonderful. We can lawfully imprison this duchess, and it's a 94% chance of success, so we'll roll that. Excellent. 100 gold. We'll take that. She'll pay it in a moment. There we go. And let's go ahead and start working on pastoral lands here. In this castle, we could start upgrading hunters' lodges just as soon as we get our next payment. It's currently the 12th. It'll happen at a random time. I really think that we get paid every 30 days, no matter how many days are in the month. It really feels like that's how that's working. Yeah, we just got paid on the 8th there. It's very strange. But okay, if that's the way they want to do it, whatever. I mean, it's worse, right? For months like February, it's a nerf to income. But for months like, say, July or August, it's a slight buff. Overall, it's a wash, I think. Hang on. Calculator. 365 divided by 30 is 12.16. So that is overall a very slight buff to the income if we're getting paid every 30 days. Noted. An alliance being proposed. We accept. We have some cash. We should probably invest it. Ooh, I want to upgrade our tax offices. That is probably the single biggest upgrade that we can do right now. To get this up to level 3, what do we actually need? We need the cranes innovation. I figured it would be something along those lines. That'll, of course, be done in 9 years. So that's great. Okay, we could definitely begin work on upgrading our guild halls. We need a lot of gold, though, to get all these upgrades done. It's insane how expensive this is in CK3. CK2, you can kind of cruise through this and get it done early game. That is absolutely not the case in CK3. And maybe that's a good thing, ultimately. The one thing that I don't really like, though, and I understand the design goal behind it. However, it's a slightly annoying choice to make. Choosing between war and peace, specifically for your gold going into development of your personal duchies. I understand, like, historically, wars could very easily bankrupt a realm. Sure, that's a thing. I get it. It's just a little bit annoying to have situations where I just spent all the money, I need to save up like 1,000 gold in order to get a certain investment done, and at the same time, I can't even do a small war. Like, for example, if we were to attack Savo here. I can't even do a small war without draining our reserves. Like, just using men-at-arms. Because they cost so much while raised. Of course, in Crusader Kings 2, it was a different story because these were always raised, and you were always paying the upkeep for that. And the upkeep was actually quite a lot less as well. Now, once again, I understand the design goal behind wanting to do this. It's just vaguely annoying. Okay, let's check for some upgrades that we can do. We'll upgrade Hunter's Lodges. Sounds good. Excellent. We are up to 55.9 income per month right now, and that is, of course, without being at war and having our War Profiteer bonus. So that's nice. I suppose one thing we could do for these super easy wars is we could declare the war and call in our allies and then just not participate. That is something that we could do. We could seize de jure duchy or de jure counties. It would have to be duchies. Yeah. It's not necessarily ideal. Like, I would prefer to be able to just get that war done myself quickly, rather than ignore it. We're obese. We'll probably be unobese here quite soon. So that should be fine, in theory. Next time we get paid, yes indeed, we can work on these guild halls. Fantastic. Unfortunately, none of these counties have 4 holdings, which would be ideal for spamming out cities. But that is not the case. However, if you notice, our total number of troops is starting to get pretty extreme. So that is nice. We can lawfully imprison this mayor. We'll give it a go. He'll leave if we don't succeed. Toledo has been... they're still inferior to us. West Francia is similar. I'm hoping that West Francia strikes back against Toledo here pretty soon. That would be an ideal scenario. Can we make any empire titles? Kingdom of Italy. That is a title that we should make. At the same time, that is yet another situation where we have to make a choice between investing in our future, in our income, and in creating titles. So this is just the fallout of having wars be as expensive as they currently are, right? But they are incredibly expensive. To the point where I often feel like I don't want to go to war simply because I don't want to bear the cost because the money is earmarked for other things. I mean, maybe it's just because I didn't invest in developing our 2 duchies super early on. That is a possibility, I suppose. Yeah, we'll work on collecting taxes efficiency. Are we working on collecting taxes right now? Yes, we are. That is a fine thing to do. So it could be that I just want to invest in this earlier, but that said, the extremely long transition into feudalism definitely challenges that, right? That makes it substantially more difficult. I don't know, it's not a simple solution. But in a lot of ways, I don't know. I feel like CK2 was more fun in that respect, but it was less balanced in that respect. The question, of course, becomes, which is more important? And I don't know. It's a complicated question. We can lawfully imprison this duke. 72% chance. If he rebels, he'll probably rebel on his own. But if he does rebel, it won't be worth it. We won't gain enough money. We'll have to spend too much to deal with him. So I don't think we'll bother with that for right now. Speaking of things we're not going to bother with, upgrading the wooden barracks. Oh hey, we're obese. We'll probably not be obese for very long. Okay, we can upgrade this prayer hall. That's something we'll definitely do. And our income is, of course, coming up nicely. We are now up over 60 gold per month. That said, if I look at our military, look at that cost. Just our men-at-arms is 101 per month when raised. Just our men-at-arms. When you factor in the levies, that's another 150 gold. Like, these are insane amounts. Can we bump up to Absolute Crown Authority yet? No, not for another 4 years. Okay. But yeah, these are absolutely insane costs. So, it comes down to, I don't know what it should be, but I feel like they should back off maybe slightly on the costs. Or perhaps even better, have ways to reduce the cost that is more attractive than, let's see, what is it? I think it's a duchy building. Army gold maintenance minus 2%. Like, the holder of the holding. So this is a duchy level building. Reminder, you're only allowed to hold 2 duchies. So the holder of this holding will have army gold maintenance reduced by 5% at maximum level. Sure. That means that you can have a 10% reduction to your army costs. I mean, it's substantial. It's 26 gold right now. But this is a drop in the bucket. Like, we're nowhere near what we need to be at. So I feel like there should probably be in the focus trees. If we go into the focus tree here, in the martial tree, I feel like perhaps in the overseer section, there should be a way to substantially reduce your gold maintenance. I mean, yeah, there is a army gold maintenance 15% reduction there. That brings it up to a total of 25%. The question is, though, why would we take army gold maintenance minus 15%? Like, hypothetically speaking, let's say that, and this is absolutely not the case, let's say that we figured out a way to get our gold income up to the amount that, like, to where we were breaking even with our forces raised. Hypothetically. In that scenario, that would almost certainly require that we utilize both the Army Gold Maintenance Reduction Duchy building and that we would utilize the, if I go into the focus here, we would utilize the Prepared Conscription perk, right? So that would be a total of 25%. Is there anything in the Dynasty tree? This is not the Dynasty tree. In the Legacies. Domain limit. No. No, there is not. Okay. So 25% is the cap then. So the question then becomes, why would we do that when we can instead increase our taxes by 20% here and also by 20% here? So a 40% tax increase plus an additional tax increase from Hergeld, from War Profiteer, from Taxman, from Honored to Serve, from Absolute Crown Authority. Like, the question becomes, why is Army Gold Maintenance Reduction so unbalanced compared to taxes? Now, the reason that might be, you have a bunch of tax increases, but you have only a couple of Army Gold Maintenance increases, and that might be because the armies are so expensive. It kind of evens out. But then the question becomes, in that case, why do they require so many perk points, so many duchy buildings for tax increases, but not for army maintenance reduction? In which case it swings the other direction, and army maintenance reduction becomes the absolute most important. You know, I'm just speculating here. I don't actually, I haven't done the math. It's just some questions that I have. Like, it takes, you can only get a certain number of perk points, right? You can only get a certain number of duchy buildings. I feel like at some point it's very difficult to balance your budget with your troops raised. And ultimately, I feel like that's probably the point. But that's also very different from the philosophy in CK2. However, I think that's enough of this rant. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to invest a little bit more money in our investment duchy. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.